before the memory's gone. I remember you. You lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you. You make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, remember. I remember you. You lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 230 of the China Show. That's the area code for Mauritius.
Yes, which is not a U.S. area.
Yeah, but I've been there, actually.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's very small.
Usually we shout out the area codes around America. Today, Mauritius gets a special shout out. So if you're in the chat or if you're in the comments, if you're from Mauritious,
Or
let
you've
us
been
know.
there. Yeah.
Because I think there's only like a couple 100,000 people there in the entire
It's
country.
small. Yeah, I drove around it in like a couple hours or something.
Wouldn't that feel weird to like only have a couple hours of area to live?
Yes, I
know
think
what I mean?
I think it's not very nice. Anyway, we've got so much to cover today.
Yes.
There's been a lot of new developments in China. There's been this horrendous thing involving Japan in China that we're going to cover in depth later on. But of course, we have to start with what's new. So let's saunter right into it with what's new. And this is where we talk about everything that's new, specifically with regards to China.
And I got good news for Carl Wagner here.
What?
He says, I hope today they talk about China.
Oh, yes, we certainly will. Okay, so we're going to start out with a little bit of a funny throwback. We got new
It's
footage.
supposed to be serious.
Okay, it's serious.
Well, I
yeah.
mean, not to us,
No,
but
it's
it's
serious.
supposed to be serious.
So there's a Chinese artist. We've shown him before, but we've never shown this clip. And what he does is he does very specific calligraphy, but he has a style.
Yes.
Let's take a
This
look.
is a new work.
This is his style.
Let's take a look at his work.
Let's see. I don't think it's done. Is he done? Yes. Let's go back to that a little bit. I mean, I would take it a little more. We've seen him before where he does like one stroke and it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine. But when he's just randomly going like, yeah, you know, whatever, it's lame.
I feel like
It also looks kind of messy.
that says nothing.
Yeah.
Chat or in the comments, let us know what you think that says. It actually looks more like English letters or Roman letters.
Yeah, than actual Chinese characters, yeah.
I also think it's a man with a lot of pent-up anger and issues. And he does that, and he slaps the paint down, and somehow has garnered an audience to applaud.
Well, you know, like arty-farty people will be like, he's transferring his energy to
It's raw
to the
emotion.
paper. It's the raw emotions, you know, it's represented in the art. Meanwhile, it's literally like a kindergartner doing finger paint, except with a brush going, ah!
It says, take the money and run.
Yeah, it does.
Now, this is a relatively common style.
Yes, we've got some other
China.
throwback.
Yeah,
We'd love
this
to
is a
see.
new one. but
Yeah.
This is an older one. Still checks out.
Yes.
You guys are new here. You wouldn't have seen this. This guy does his whole thing. Can you pause it real quick? His whole thing is he doesn't look, and there's multiple clips of him. He doesn't look while painting.
Yes.
So I guess it's like his true raw emotion, but he's not guiding it with his sight.
This is very lackluster, what he's doing.
I love that it's on like pots. Do you imagine putting that pot in your house?
Yes.
And they're like, what? Someone comes out like, what is that?
It's like special art.
Special art.
Someone painted it without looking at it.
Oh, he was blind?
No, he's just bored.
No, he just didn't care enough
Yeah,
to look.
exactly. This thing about like shouting, I think is quite common because here's
Yes.
another guy. But he uses his hair.
That's finger painting and hair.
Yes. That looks messy. I'm sorry, but like, yeah. I'm trying to be all...
Wait.
What?
I think a key feature is the dude like blessing it.
Yes.
This is, for people that are like, oh, the Westerners are like, they're failed civilization, like they've already reached peak and now they're on the decline. China still has stuff like that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
plenty of this stuff.
Sure. I think everyone
What's
does.
the art type guy in China, by the way?
there's-
Guy.
The art guy, he either has long hair
Yeah.
or he has a beard.
Yeah.
He's it's like an archetype. You can always tell an art guy.
An art guy.
Yeah, it's
Like,
true.
oh, that guy does art.
Yeah, he'll wear specific clothes.
Yes.
You could tell.
Yes.
Anyway, I mean, not to knock these guys' art. Like, let them enjoy what they do. It's nice to have a creative outlet
Yes.
in a very uncreative country.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I'm
sure.
for it. It's kind of funny to watch. Anyway,
is.
guys, Mooncake Festival, otherwise known as Zhongqiujie or Mid-Autumn Festival, has just passed.
Yes.
Again, one of the most confusing things to me, because every time I ask somebody to tell me the story of the rabbit and the moon, everyone's got a different story about this dude, or there's a wood chopper up there, or this person's mixing potions, or this person betrayed that. Everyone has a different story surrounding this. There's not one unified story.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of conflicting.
Yeah, the one thing that's unified is that there's this goddess who lives on the moon called Chang'e. There's a rabbit on the moon.
Yes.
Okay, and you eat mooncakes, and it's about family.
Did you have mooncakes this year?
I luckily avoided them.
Oh, well, I like ice mooncakes.
Yes, I love those. I love those.
And we made those at home.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, mooncakes are interesting, and if you haven't tried them before, I suggest you do try them, because they're cool.
But I would like to explain them to you.
Yeah.
Traditional mooncake is basically a brick
Yes.
of brown breading type stuff. A
With,
hard
like glutinous
Yes.
insides. Yeah.
insides, not intestines. but
Yeah, with like raw egg yolks.
it's
No, cooked egg. I mean, egg yolks, not raw. What am I saying?
It's
salty
duck egg
yolks. Yeah.
inside, and there will be bits of pork fat inside of a very sweet, almost nutty.
Doesn't it
filling.
have like 3,000 calories or 4,000 or
depends on the
6,000 calories?
Depends on the brand.
You could eat one and it's like good for a week.
Yeah, you really doing the mooncake diet, you'd gain a lot of weight.
Yeah.
They're basically the consistency of what you'd see on like the Star Wars rations or something, like a ration.
Yes, it's like a ration.
in the Middle Ages or something. But there's many different kinds because a lot of people don't even like those traditional ones.
Yeah.
So they have something called ice mooncakes, which are like a mochi on the outside,
Yeah,
which is
very
like
nice.
a glutinous rice, and then inside it will be like a sweet bean paste or something like that. Anyway, long story short, a lot of jokes surrounding mooncakes have been going around the Chinese internet. So on Beyond the Great Firewall, we're going to show you what's been going on there.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to preface this. Mooncakes are something you give to people, okay? And it's almost like a status symbol. If you can give expensive, nice mooncakes to people you care about, if they're your clients or something, it gives you face. It makes you look important, right?
Yeah.
But because everybody has to give mooncakes, even like low-level places give you mooncakes, or
Yes.
very low-level workers and stuff, they'll try to give mooncakes. So there are too many mooncakes is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because they'll give you a box, let's say 4 inside or 6 inside.
For sure.
But then you're getting it from everyone.
True.
And this is what happens. Like, I would give you and your family mooncakes, and I'd give my other friends family mooncakes, and I'd give my coworkers mooncakes.
Yeah.
So everybody's receiving mooncakes from everybody else.
Yes.
And you end up with a surplus of these things, and you've got too many. Nobody can eat them because
No.
you would die if you tried to eat more than like 3 of them or something. And now you've got tins of these things. You're trying to give them away. You're trying to regift them.
Yeah.
So let's just say you got a lot of mooncakes that go off and go stale and just hanging around. But anyway, people were making fun of mooncakes. Let's take a look. Beyond. Yes. Why is he smashing it? Is that an onion?
Pomegranate.
Oh, it's a pomegranate. Oh, thank goodness. I was wondering why someone would smash an onion with a mooncake. So he smashed up a nuts and a pomegranate, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad
Shows
you
you how
pointed it out.
hard they are.
Yes.
Dude, that was scary what he just did with his thumb there.
Yeah, he almost chopped his
Dude!
thumb. Yeah, what is he doing? I like how he shows, it damaged his cleaver.
Yes.
Are you showing it again? Okay.
This is good.
This is another
good.
one. So somebody decided that they'd do a little taste test. They
Yes.
put out all these mooncakes for their dogs. Let's see how the dogs react.
To make a cute video.
Yeah. Bro,
They're so confused.
you gotta know something's wrong when a dog won't even eat it, dude. Like seriously. Oh, gross. Somebody found some suspect looking hairs in their mooncake.
Go back to the dog. That's horrible.
That's
Why'd you have to put that in there?
I don't know, but here we go. Yeah, the dog. Look, here's the thing. Again, because so many kinds, and look, this is not a knock on mooncakes in general, because
No.
you get great mooncakes, okay?
Mooncakes. I like the
But
tradition.
because there's such a huge volume and such a demand during that time, and you know what, Chinese people, all my friends, they don't like them. They're like, oh man, they like to have the nice ones with their family. But they'll usually like share one.
Yeah.
Like
it'll actually, the fancy ones will come with like a little knife.
Yeah, and you cut them, and
then
so
little forks.
like a little cake or a little
Yes.
pizza or something. You slice it up. Yeah, and each person gets one piece.
And then you go, ooh, I feel full after that 1 inch piece
Exactly.
of mooncake. Yeah.
But because there's such a huge demand,
Yes.
you get very low quality ones made, like real crap ones that are just
Yes.
made because it's more just the act of giving it. Nobody's going to eat it type thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a lot of them are moldy and stuff because
Yeah.
they've been,
Yeah, but I mean, like,
gifted.
if a dog's not going to eat it.
I love the dogs not. Like, they want to eat so bad. They know there's food there.
Yeah, but they're sniffing.
But there's
they're
like, where's the food?
Yeah.
That's just excellent. That's
Yeah.
such a great.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Pastry. It's pastry.
Yeah, it's pastry.
Oh, come on.
It's kind of gross. It's kind of gross.
You know someone put that in the video.
You think so?
You know it.
Maybe.
In this day and age.
Possibly. But no, that's not true. People have found all sorts of weird things in mooncakes. You can look it up.
Yeah,
like
that's
people
true.
have found teeth and
That's
gross bits and pieces of
This is
stuff.
true.
Like it's a thing because there's such a like a low barrier to entry, and people make mooncakes as well. You can home make them. You get
Yeah,
those
we
little
made 'em.
pressed
We
cake.
made 'em at home.
Yeah, exactly.
I should have given you some. We made some nice,
Oh,
nice
nice.
ones. I think we still have some. Oh no, we did, but you don't like durian. We made durian ones.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. I appreciate the gesture.
Yeah.
All right. Time to move on to Slapaganda, which is my favorite part of the show, of course. Before we get into all the serious stuff,
Yes.
we wanted to present you with a little new segment here.
On the scene.
You'll follow
With
me,
the
okay?
haze runner. I'm sorry. Play that again.
Okay,
I
all
gotta
right.
see that. Okay, guys, if you don't remember, there is a nice guy on
that's-
Chinese state media
Yeah.
called Igor or something.
Igor
And
or something.
He did this scene where he had to like explore this ancient area
Yes.
in Henan.
Luoyang.
Yeah, in Luoyang.
Yeah.
And it was so polluted, and he's like, out of nowhere, he's like, I just want to run around this place.
Yes.
You'll follow me, okay?
Yeah,
And then he
exactly.
just makes this weird noise, and I've never seen anyone have such an awkward run. I think you
Yeah.
made a soundbite.
I did. It's around here somewhere. Let me find it. It's got to be around here somewhere.
So
Here.
if you didn't see it,
You'll
in person-
follow me, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
What would possess someone to want to run in that? You
Anyway,
sound like me.
he's got a feature now.
Yes.
'Kay.
So he's on. We've called him the Haze Runner.
The Haze Runner, yes.
And he has now decided that he will go on assignment to a tech expo.
Yeah, Tech Expo in China. So let's see. On the scene.
You'll
the
follow
haze.
me, okay?
Right, I'll get us out of here.
So guys, here I am at the 14th Smart City and Intelligent Economy Expo. So this place is filled with all kinds of high tech. And have you wondered, like, what kind of life will we have when it's all filled with high-end technology? Let's go inside and see what future is holding for us. Let's
I
go.
love this guy. He's so positive.
Yeah, he is.
So here is actually, I have an opportunity to talk to AI robot.
There will be a mid-autumn day in China. Can you write a poem?
The moon shines bright on mid-autumn night, a time for families to unite. Mooncakes round, flavors abound.
So who do you think is more handsome, is me or Brad Pitt?
Both you and Brad Pitt have your own unique charm and advantages, so it is difficult to say who is more handsome.
You will marry me.
As a virtual assistant, I'm not capable of getting married or having personal relationships.
You'll follow me, okay?
You will marry me.
You'll follow me, okay?
A little bit tired.
I have to interrupt.
What? What?
Yeah. First of all,
I need a break.
Yeah. I wanted to point something out. Okay. Wait, let's go back to this. You know, he's supposed to be talking to like a robot, right? Yeah,
Yes,
an AI robot. Let's see this. He has an opportunity to talk to an AI robot. Now, I like to call out China's propaganda whenever I can.
Yes.
Let's take a look at this AI robot.
My robot.
We
There
found
will be-
truth here.
Now, if you look, when he talks to the so-called AI robot, he's got a microphone.
Yeah.
The microphone is plugged. If you follow the cable, you'll see later in the footage. If you actually follow the cable from the microphone, it's plugged directly into that boombox-looking Bluetooth speaker thing.
Boomer speaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
And that's where the sound is coming from as well. That's why it's so overblown, because he's holding his mic. You see he's holding the microphone. He's holding it right there. So the actual robot thing is nothing in this equation.
this not related.
All it does is the mouth moves, and it's probably just based on the audio levels, you know, like a graphic equalizer type idea. So this entire AI robot is just like an Alexa speaker.
Yes.
It's literally just an Alexa speaker
or equivalent.
yeah,
Chinese
something like that. You
equivalent,
know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like your Google assistant. You're like, hey, Google, tell me a poem.
Right.
That's what it is, right? But it's like, oh, look at this futuristic AI robot.
It's not related.
It's not even as good as an Alexa or something, because he has to have an actual microphone and he has to hold down a button to speak to it, and it's plugged into a stupid old boombox looking Bluetooth speaker.
That is. You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Sarah AI.
Oh, it absolutely is.
It's worse. At least they put a real human in there to like trick
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Like behind the voice. This is just a crappy AI.
It's not AI. It's just
You know
like
what I
a
mean?
the
Language
voice
model,
assistant.
voice
yeah.
assistant, yeah.
I mean, take a look up there. That speaker thing.
A mid-autumn day in China. Can you write a poem?
The moon shines bright on mid-autumn night, a time for families to unite. Mooncakes round, flavors abound.
So who do you
It's
think
not
is
related.
more
It's not. I mean, also the robot mannequin is just randomly moving
Yeah.
around. The only thing that the robot mannequin is doing is the mouth moves when audio is played. If you clap next to it, it probably like moves too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
she'll probably
saying?
You go like this, and she'll go.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what's going on here.
handsome
It
as
looks
me or
terrible.
Brad Pitt?
Yes.
Both you and Brad Pitt have your own unique charm and advantages, so it is difficult to say who is more handsome.
See how that's a cut there?
You will marry me.
As a virtual assistant, I'm not capable of getting married or
I mean, yeah, also, you don't say to someone, you will marry me.
But he does though.
But
That's what he does.
Yeah, because it's actually a question.
Yes.
It's like, will you marry me? But
His-
he's like, you will marry me? Question mark. You will marry me?
For a non-native speaker, his English is great, but he
Yes.
has this thing that we've noticed is he
Yes.
goes, "You'll follow me, okay? You'll
Yeah.
marry me." It's like a very like you're gonna do this.
Yes, exactly. Whether you like it or not.
I love that.
He's
You
not
will
happy.
marry me.
Look at him. He's not happy with that reply.
having personal relationships.
You'll follow me, okay?
You will marry me.
You'll follow me, okay?
A little bit
Let's
tired,
carry
and
on.
it's time for a break. And here, there's actually a robot that can perform miracles. It can create a beautiful and tasty, flavorful ice cream. And finally, I can get my ice cream.
It's just
Can you do the dance again?
the duds. There's a little duds. Okay, yeah.
His
Again-
animatronics are better. I think he's a robot.
Yeah, maybe
I
he's
think you
maybe
will
he's
marry
a
me.
yeah.
You know what I
Maybe
mean?
he's a sophisticated
Beautiful
robot.
and
Yeah,
tasty,
it's his little duds.
flavorful ice cream. And finally, I can get my ice cream, guys.
Oh, well.
Please tell the truth about that because it's not
Yeah.
actually disingenuous.
No, I added in this little VR clip. This is China Daily has made a Moon Festival VR world, I guess, that
Mm-hmm.
looks like 1997 graphics with a really
It's
awkward
worse
rabbit.
than 1997
It's
graphics.
true, because that's like Miss Two Ribbon is from 97.
Dude, yeah, Miss Two Ribbons way better than
Yeah.
that.
I'm just saying, like, wow, this is a state-sponsored thing, and you can go into this VR world and look at this rabbit hop around. It's real bad. Anyway,
This is excellent.
yeah. Before we continue, guys, we have a little word we'd like to share with you, okay? Here it comes. Word time. Word, write letters and shit, yo. You know when you discover a new binge-worthy show or a song that you bump on repeat and you have to share it with your friends so they can experience just how awesome it is? That's kind of what it feels like when you discover that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. It's such an awesome deal. There's no way you can keep it to yourself.
I cannot believe there's an unlimited plan for $15 a month.
Actually, it is pretty awesome.
That's an excellent deal.
Yeah.
Of course, you want to tell your friends about it. Friends don't let friends overpay for wireless. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plan and switch to Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you and your squad with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts.
Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/ADV. That's mintmobile.com/ADV. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/ADV. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on the first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
Awesome. So now we're doing that thing where we...
Tell you what happened during the week.
Yes. So...
China, week in review. Call it something like that.
Yeah, for sure. September 15th, which was, what, like 5 days ago?
Yeah.
In Tianjin. What happened?
So this is kind of near Beijing.
Yeah. Something interesting. I suspect. Perhaps. Yes. Now, this is going to be quite a common theme.
Yes.
And this is something that actually happens almost weekly in China. And it's actually pretty heartbreaking because what happens here is this particular group of people all paid for houses to be built, and they were never built.
Yeah.
Not never completed, just never built.
Yeah, so this was like a huge unit area, and it was called the Binhai Evergrande Cultural and Tourism City. It was one of those things that was supposed to be the next big thing and pump millions and millions and millions of dollars into this area. People are going to come from everywhere, invest in the properties, and then tourism will blow up.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. And the problem is this wipes out like 2 generations worth of wealth every time.
Yeah.
Because you borrow from your parents and your grandparents and your uncles and your cousins and everything to put down the deposit and to buy these apartments. And they never get finished or they never get built.
True.
And the only thing people can do is go and stand out there and demand their rights, which unfortunately in China never results in anything. Ever.
It results in you going to jail.
Yeah, it usually results in them bringing in the goon squad and rounding you up. But this is a common thing you're going to see over this week.
Let's just say the government doesn't like when people do this.
No, this is never encouraged.
But people are willing to even throw away their lives for this because it's their entire life savings.
Correct.
Right.
I mean, they've lost everything.
Yeah.
You'll also notice that they're using handwritten signs.
You will.
And there's a reason why
You will notice it.
Yeah, the reason why, the reason why people use handwritten signs is if you were to go and get them printed, you could get reported.
Correct.
You know,
so when
'cause-
you see a handwritten one, you know this is a genuine thing.
Yeah,
that
because
the government doesn't want.
here's the thing. If you go to an they're called guanggao shops, little advertising shops, the places where you can print banners, they're scattered all over China.
Yeah,
But, of course, when you go to get something made, you're going to have to produce your ID anyway.
for sure.
So if you're printing something that sounds seditious or something that sounds like it could be related to a protest,
Yeah.
the shop owner has to notify the authorities.
Yeah,
And if he doesn't, he could get into trouble if they trace it back
for
to
sure.
his shop.
For sure.
He'd go to jail.
Yeah.
So that's why handwritten signs means, they were too scared to get
sure.
it printed. 我们要房子. We want houses,
Because they didn't get them.
Yep. Just giving them their moment in the sun. Yeah. Anyway, the problem is, again, in most countries, you wouldn't have to worry about this kind of thing happening. You would have legal repercussions, but in China, you just don't.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem. You don't have legal repercussions. And the absurd thing is that there's how many millions of empty houses that are not occupied anyway.
Yeah.
And yet people are still paying for new ones to be built. It's crazy.
There could be up to 1 billion
Yes.
empty houses in China.
Yeah.
Which is insane. It's like there's an extra house for like every person.
Yeah.
But it's such unreliable data. It's impossible to know. But there is definitely a surplus of
Yeah.
empty shell husk houses in China.
Yeah, it's unnecessary to be building all these new ones. It's just because it's such a crazy money-grabbing scheme.
Yeah.
Anyway, just indicative, this also happened this last week. And this is part of the problem. Here you've got construction workers kowtowing to their bosses, and what he's basically saying is, please give me my wages. So they haven't been paid. So this is what leads to these situations where you just don't have houses being built because the money's dried up, the investment money's dried up, the workers aren't being paid, the houses aren't being completed. So it's kind of a knock-on effect, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty bad for everyone all around. Okay, let's move on to September 16th, Shanghai. Now, what do you think's happened in Shanghai?
Some absolutely nuts scenes. The worst typhoon to ever hit in 75 years hit Shanghai this week.
Yeah, it's insane.
Remember, Shanghai is probably the richest and most developed city in China.
Yeah, most sophisticated.
So you have people that are not used to stuff ripping, falling down, tofu drag type damage.
Yeah.
And stuff was just coming down. It was insane.
Yeah, dude bathing on the top of the... He's like taking a little bath on the top of the entrance there. I mean, yeah, I probably wouldn't be doing
Neither
that.
would I, but you know. Well,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we saw a clip of this earlier, but this is so common in China for the facades of the buildings to fall off like this.
It's all a facade.
Yeah, it really is. The screeding, whatever you want to call it.
I like how that's like 1, 2.
Yeah.
Very organized.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to see some, you know, a little later in the after party. We have a bit of a compilation of very close near miss stuff. It's pretty interesting. We'll talk about that later. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, just don't go out if you can.
I
Yeah.
hope he's okay, but
Yeah.
it really needed the Benny Hills.
Oh, yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, they're smart to hold on to the trees as long as the trees don't fall.
Which they did.
Yes, yeah.
Not in that particular
No.
place.
Yeah. Someone added that sound. Okay. Anyway, there was a lot of damage, of course.
Yes.
And, well, you know, Shanghai's still recovering.
Yes.
Let's move on to yesterday, September the 19th in Hebei, Zhangjiakou in China.
Zhangjiakou and Hebei, it's a big city, very polluted city. Unbelievably polluted city.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they didn't get that nice breeze to rip through and clear out that pollution, because what they were dealing with was a massive, huge case of the local government there embezzling the citizens' real estate money. So they invested in real estate, and the government took it.
Yeah.
So the people, again, losing everything they have. Remember, there's no stable investment in China other than property.
Yes.
That's all you do. So when you put your life savings and your kids' life savings and your parents' life savings into property, and then you don't get that property, you've lost it all.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. And so the thing is, the only thing people can do is kowtow.
Yeah.
Which it's a horrifying scene. I hate to see it, and I've seen it in China a lot. Is that the Chinese citizens are helpless. Okay, they can't go out there and demand their rights. They have to go out there and beg.
There's no rights.
Yeah, exactly.
There are no rights,
Yeah.
so.
So they have to go out there and beg and kowtow, So they'll kowtow to the local officials, they'll kowtow to the police, they'll kowtow to the property developers,
I just like this to be a wake-up call for people that, maybe don't support authoritarian governments, but they go, well, at least they get stuff done. Well, at what sacrifice? To what end, right? Well, you can have great mega projects that look really good in propaganda that aren't useful in daily life, and then sacrifice all your rights to lose everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? This is not a system of envy.
No, absolutely not. Good point. Yeah, what's happening next? Yeah. Sky, man. Sky don't lie. Look at that.
It's really difficult. It's one of the most polluted cities in China.
Yeah, I've never been to that particular city.
Hebei in general is just very...
I've been to Hebei.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right, guys, you're just gonna sit
let's
there.
give someone else their time in the sun.
Yeah, let's move on. These guys are just gonna sit there.
He's a very
Probably
special
still
character.
sitting there today. Oh yes.
So
So
this guy was part of it. We wanted to highlight him.
So, of course, everybody who has a stake in this, has had their money stolen, is going to hang out over here at the government building.
So, yeah, but I want to preface this here.
Yes, something went a bit wrong.
The problem is a lot of these people have filters like default on.
Yes,
So
filters on their phone.
on their phone. So like they'll be taking a serious video. They could get them into massive trouble in China, by the way, because they're showing a protest, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then sharing that is proliferating unrest, which is a huge crime in
Yes.
China. But they they forget to turn off said filter.
Yes.
And so you get these people that are sitting here
With a
we, like,
shark filter on it.
Everyone, please like the stream
Yeah.
or like this video if you love Shark Man, because we
Yes.
did not add this.
No, this is
This isn't a protest
Yeah, it's a
video.
protest video. They're like, this is the most serious thing. We've lost all our life savings. It's like, shark, man, shark.
So inappropriate.
And if you wait for it, see the other guy squatting in white? Yeah, he gets sharked too.
He gets sharked
He's
as
sharked
well.
as well.
He gets the red shark. It looks like that shark from Finding Nemo, but red.
Yes, it does.
And there's like two little sharks on.
I know.
What even is that filter?
It doesn't make sense.
It's like a shit mask.
It's a real bad filter.
Yeah,
That's
it's like,
all I can say.
It's like bad cutout clip art.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Anyway, we love Shark Man.
Yeah, Shark Man.
Shark Man participating in said protest.
Yeah, now at the top of these stairs, you probably saw in an earlier clip, there's a lot of plainclothes policemen basically stopping them from getting close to the government building. So they have to sit on the steps. Okay, this happened this month. The actual day escapes us. It was last week.
Yeah.
But you don't want to misreport. Now, what we're showing you here is a school building that's collapsing. Now, listen, it's definitely supposed to be a demolition because you can see, like a machine in the background that's being used.
Understand what happens next.
Yes.
Probably shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, take a look, right? So they're demolishing this building, but everybody's standing right next to it.
Yikes! No! And you know how bad that is to breathe in?
Yeah, but debris flying everywhere.
These are people out the front gate. What about people all the way around the block? There's
Exactly.
people standing right there.
So
right?
it just shows you that safety is not really of any real concern in China.
Safety
public
last.
safety. Yeah, safety last. Because, look, if you're going to do a controlled demolition of this building, if you're going to knock this building down, you should have a minimum safe distance. You should have people out there putting tape or, whatever. But no, they let people just stand right next to it. Kids. Yeah.
Laughing at somebody wrote, Uncle Shark, Uncle Shark. He's got to be Uncle
dude,
Shark.
yeah, he's Uncle Shark. We're going with Shark Man, but I prefer Uncle Shark now.
Uncle Shark.
Look at these people
bro.
being engulfed in this cloud because they're standing too close to this freaking thing.
I know. You know how dangerous that is?
That's probably full of asbestos.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
The buildings, the materials they use.
Yeah, sure. All right, next thing that happened today, / kind of yesterday, because China's a day ahead and behind, remember?
No, just ahead from us.
Yeah, exactly. Ahead from us, but yeah, anyway.
They're 12 hours ahead of us East Coast time.
Yes, that's correct. Anyway, here we have take a look at the in Anhui Tuohe Bridge.
Yes.
Okay. Something very interesting happened.
This is wild.
Yeah.
This is a wild one.
A
You don't expect it to be so bad.
wild ancient boat arrived.
This is one of those.
It's obviously
tourist-
a tourist thing, right? So just made to look
It's not
ancient.
ancient.
Yeah.
But you probably know it's about to crash on the bridge, right?
Yeah.
But the aftermath is the curious part.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Because you expect it to like shave a little off the top.
Why?
Being in China is like free entertainment all the time.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
often dangerous.
Very, very.
I wouldn't be standing on the bridge. Like
Yeah,
these
you never
people.
know. Like, how good is that bridge?
They know it's gonna
Yeah,
hit.
yeah, exactly. Swinging around.
This gets progressively more insane.
Yes.
The whole thing vaporizes, flips, and then capsizes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's absolutely nuts. It literally shredded it to nothing.
Yeah. Well, it's not very well constructed, obviously. Oh, 船来了.
It's just I'm glad that Is there anyone on it?
No, it doesn't look like
okay.
it. I hope not.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
There's like a tree on it.
Like, why would you stand on that bridge?
Yeah, right underneath it too. Look, there are people right there.
But it looks like it's about
I mean,
to
right
stop
above it, I
there.
mean,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
yeah.
like, okay, it's over. It just got smushed.
Yeah, it's got them fake bricks on the side.
Yes. It shows you how crazy the rivers are. Like, rivers are good in general.
Cool.
But
There
it
goes.
just gets absolutely smoked.
Yeah.
It just gets eaten.
I like how he's got that delayed response. He's like, after it's ready. Yeah.
Look at the water pressure.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, but it literally it eats it.
Yeah, there it is, and it does sink.
Yeah, yeah, it did give it away. It just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
This saga.
Yes, yes. Oh, I mean, that was an interesting happening. Off you go. Beautiful.
That is probably the coolest thing. Those people.
Uncle Shark.
Uncle Shark, dude.
I love that he's got a cigarette in his mouth.
Uncle Shark. I love that we didn't do that.
No,
I love that
that-
someone put their life on the line.
Yeah, to film
get
a protest.
People like us.
Yeah.
This video to share it with the world.
Yeah.
Shared the video, and then Uncle Shark filter was on.
I know, it's ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
This is also the most disinterested protester I've ever seen in my life.
I know, and
He's
I love
just
that
like,
he's
whatever.
not facing the same direction
No,
as everyone.
he's just.
He doesn't give a shit.
What do you think he's thinking about?
I think he's thinking I've lost it all.
Maybe.
And then somebody has the audacity to Uncle Shark him.
Yeah, it's very possible. Yeah. Oh, well. Okay, so let's move on to today as well. Yesterday, Xuchang in Henan, China.
Yeah.
And what happened there?
Weekend review, not concluding, I guess. Xuchang in Henan. Home buyers organize a protest, but this one's interesting.
Yeah.
This is a good example of what you can see after the protest kicked off.
Yes.
They sent out a whole slew of what they call now in China, which is very interesting, stability maintenance forces.
Yes.
Which are literally cops to stop people from complaining.
Yeah.
And then disappear them.
Look how many they sent out.
Yeah.
And I just want to go back to that because, again, this is one of those projects that was never finished.
Yeah.
So they call them rotten tail projects.
Yeah.
And you buy a house, the construction starts, they start building, they get to a certain point, then they run out of money or they steal the money, embezzle it, whatever.
Yes.
And so then they can't pay the workers and then everything grinds to a halt.
Yeah.
But the problem is you, as the purchaser, are still paying a monthly mortgage.
Yes.
So can you imagine that you bought this house, you've started to pay it off already.
Can't live in it.
Yeah, you can't go on, you can't even get into the property. They won't allow you
Sometimes
to go
it's
up there.
not even, doesn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. You can't live in it. You can't move in. There's no progress for months and months. Nobody's reached out to tell you anything about it. But you're paying every month for this like useless.
Reach out and touch, fake.
Exactly. And then what happens? Well, you complain. Nobody responds. You try to bring it up with the authorities. Nobody cares. So you go and you organize a protest with your fellow home buyers because, it's not only you. There's
not your
going
homies.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be at least another 20, 30, 40, 100, 200 people, 300,
More
1,000
like
people.
not your fellow homies, your fellow homeless.
Yeah, fellow homeless, yeah. And all these other people want to get together and go and protest and say, give us our homes, finish the homes. We paid for them. Where are they? And so what they do is rather than actually fix it, they send in literally what looks like 100 plus, not armed, but 100 plus enforcement people
Yeah,
here.
because that wasn't the only line.
Yeah, there's others. You can see the others here with the coming in with the black uniforms.
Stability maintenance forces, get it right.
Yeah, stability maintenance forces. They're sending them all in there to suppress the people and to just shut the protest down.
A little insight into Chinese too is that the reason that they're trying to kind of make this sound better, not just like riot control or something.
Yeah.
Stability maintenance forces makes people think that, okay, well, that's justified because the whole thing is that China must be stable before anything else.
Yes.
We are an authoritarian country and we sacrifice all our rights because we're allowed to have money and we're stable.
Yes.
So if you can do anything in the justification for that, right?
Sure.
You just send in the stability maintenance forces. Does that not sound like 1984?
It does. Absolutely. It's really bad. It's really
that.
fucking bad.
It's that.
Sorry for my language. But yeah, it's really, really
You
bad.
said frickin'.
I said freaking bad. Yeah, it's really freaking
Give it
bad.
a soundbite and wash it away.
No, it's fine. We can just continue.
You got a cool soundbite.
Okay, I'll give us a soundbite. I'll give us a...
That doesn't wash anything away.
No, it doesn't.
That
You're
was
right.
a bad taste in my mouth.
It does. Anyway, so just so everybody knows, in this last week, we've shown you multiple instances of people losing their money because of their real estate purchases in the housing market, and they're protesting, and it's being suppressed.
Yes.
This happens weekly, but this week we've seen a lot of it.
Yes.
So we just wanted to point that out. Let's move on and see what happens next. This is kind of funny. They're doing a propaganda shoot,
Yes.
and they want to show that these
Bicycle
cops are doing a great job, and they're really exerting themselves. They're hao xingku. How do you say that in English, really?
Like they suffer.
They suffer, they have to suffer to protect the people. So they're putting water on their backs to make it look like they've been sweating, like fake sweat.
They literally have a pan of water.
Yeah.
A pot of water to make it look like they're sweating.
Because, it'll be kind of hard to find that naturally. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I guess it's time for Soft Power Hour, guys. This is our main segment of the show where we talk about how China's trying to change your mind through various different means. But before we do, we have another word, and our word today is AG1.
AG1 is like daily self-care for me. I know that I'm doing at least one good thing for my body every day when I start my day with AG1. It gives my body the vitamins, minerals, and more that it needs. We love AG1, don't we?
It's really good.
It's fantastic. It's probably one of the quickest things you can do for your health. One scoop in some water, you've just covered your nutritional bases and your nutritional gaps for the entire day. Especially for people like us. I know there's people I know you guys are probably healthier than we are.
I'm guessing.
But
100%.
there's going to be people out there like you that want to fill your nutritional gaps like we do. Right?
Yes.
AG1 contains prebiotics and probiotics and gut-supporting ingredients to support your digestion, reduce bloating, and keep you regular. In a research study, 80% of participants noticed less gas and bloating after 30 days of drinking AG1. In a research study, 97% of participants felt digestion improved after 90 days of drinking AG1. So absolutely fantastic for digestion. AG1 is made bioavailable ingredients that actually work with your body. So start with AG1 and notice the difference for yourself. It's a great first step in investing in your health, and that's why we've been a proud they've been a proud partner of us for so long.
And we've been proud to partner with
Absolutely,
them.
for sure. Try AG1 and get a free bottle of vitamin D3K2 and get 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/ADV. That's a $48 value for free if you go to drinkag1.com/ADV. Check it out.
Absolutely. Thank you. Now, back to the show. So, we've talked about a bunch of real estate stuff. We've talked about some of the crises that are happening in China right now. Just had a massive typhoon in Shanghai.
But what's the biggest news?
The biggest news is quite tragic news, actually.
For YouTube, chill out. We're not going to show anything graphic.
Yeah, we're not going to show anything too bad. All right, let me just get to it. Okay, it's going to be over here. Now, before we even get to this, I want to just preface that this happened in the city where I lived for 14 years.
Yeah.
And what you'll find in China is the Chinese school system is very difficult for foreigners to integrate into. In fact, it's almost impossible. So if you are a foreign expat and you move there for work and you have your family and they're already like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years old, to try and get them into a Chinese school it's impossible because it's all in Chinese. Okay, first of all. Also, the curriculum is very nationalist. And I personally wouldn't want my child to go in there to swear fealty to the Communist Party and Mao Zedong every morning and at the flag raising. It's just not my gig. Anyway, you have
learned about how every other country is bad.
Yes, exactly, and be brainwashed,
them.
With propaganda all the time about hate and stuff, which we'll find out about. But you have options, okay? You have what are called international schools.
Yes.
Okay, and the international schools are for, those people that come from overseas. They can send their children to international schools. But also rich Chinese parents will send their kids to these international schools too. And they usually have a mixed curriculum of English and Chinese. They still teach Chinese and everything, but it's, primarily international. But you also get Japanese schools for the Japanese population that moves there for work. Because don't forget, Japan has a lot of business interests in China. There's a lot of factories there. They produce a lot of goods there, et cetera, et cetera. But unfortunately, we've been seeing a rise in xenophobic attacks. We showed you, was only a couple months ago, maybe 2 months ago, was it? The Suzhou one, where a crazed nationalist tried to attack a school bus full of young Japanese children, and he stabbed one of them. He actually murdered one of the Chinese assistants who stepped in, very brave Chinese assistant who stepped in to protect the children. Yeah. So he murdered her and he injured the, Japanese children, and he was going to try and kill them all. And it's happened again.
Yeah.
But this time, unfortunately, a 10-year-old Japanese boy was murdered on the streets of Shenzhen outside of the Japanese school. Now, I happen to know where that school is. I used to live not too far away from it. I'm very familiar with the area and, of course, very familiar with the city. And it really is a sad moment to see this happen, But this has had very wide-reaching repercussions, okay? Because this is the second time within a very short amount of time that Japanese children have been targeted by murderers in China, all right? So let's take a look at some of the drama surrounding this, because it's not just the heinous act, but there's a lot that's been going on top of it all, okay?
Yeah, first of all, I'll just read this real quick. It's from the BBC. The killing of a Japanese schoolboy in the Chinese city of Shenzhen has sparked worry among Japanese expats living in China, with top firms warning their workers to be vigilant. Now, keep in mind, China's got a ton of Japanese companies that manufacture there.
Yeah.
I used to meet Japanese people all the time.
Yeah.
Toshiba and Toyota have told their staff to take precautions against any possible violence, while Panasonic is offering its employees free flights home. That's how bad it's gotten.
Yes.
Japanese authorities have repeated their condemnation of the killing while urging the Chinese government to ensure the safety of their citizens. The stabbing of the 10-year-old boy on Wednesday was the third high-profile attack on foreigners in China in recent months. And China right now is spending millions, if not billions of dollars right now to repair its image abroad, to get people to go spend tourism
this
dollars there.
Visa-free thing.
Visa-free travel, all this kind of. China's so safe. There are so many propaganda videos you'll see right now being put out by Chinese government amplifiers.
Yes.
So people that are from America or Canada or wherever, shills we call them, that'll go and say, well, China's the safest country in the world. China's so safe. What? They told me China's dangerous? You'll see a ton of these, and these are targeted videos to make you think that China's safe. Unfortunately, China at the same time, using a language barrier, is teaching its citizens pure hatred.
And
I uncovered an entire campaign on the Chinese internet to hate the USA. I couldn't find one post that was positive.
Yes.
On state media and amplifiers as well. And there's also a targeted campaign that has been going on for decades to teach hate about Japan. So this kind of thing is going to happen.
We're going to talk about that in a bit. But right now, definitely America's number one on the hate list.
Japan's actually like a distant third.
But because it's ingrained for so long.
Yes.
And it's also recently there's been a big anniversary for atrocities that Japan committed.
For sure.
So that's also driven this to happen.
Yes.
Panasonic is allowing employees and their families to temporarily return to Japan at company expense and is offering a counseling service as well. Toshiba, which has around 100 employees in China, has urged its workers to be cautious of their safety. The world's biggest car manufacturer, Toyota, meanwhile, told the BBC it was supporting Japanese expatriates by providing them with any information they might need on the situation. Japan's ambassador to Beijing has also urged the Chinese government to do its utmost to ensure the safety of its citizens. Meanwhile, on Thursday, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida called the attack extremely despicable and said Tokyo had strongly urged Beijing for an explanation as soon as possible.
Good luck.
Yeah,
I'll show
good
you
luck.
What it was.
Yeah, exactly. So the Chinese authorities have not revealed the exact motive, but have repeatedly called the stabbing an isolated incident, as they did for 2 previous incidents this year.
I'd like to teach the Chinese government some English here.
Yes.
Isolated means one.
Yeah.
When one separated from everything else. Isolated doesn't mean many.
Yes.
Because this is what's been happening.
Yeah, it's not it's a common incident at this point.
Yes.
This is the brave lady who who was unfortunately murdered protecting the Japanese children in Suzhou.
Wu Yaoping, yeah.
Yeah. Now, the foreign minister spokesperson gets up, and he was asked by various members of press about this recent stabbing.
And the ones before.
Yeah, and the ones before. But first he was asked about the recent stabbing. And of course, he's like, this is just he said, his words are, it was an isolated incident that could happen in any country.
Well, yeah, more of the whole speech there is kind of deflection. Like, we value the relationship between the partnership and friendship between China and
Yeah, and this is
Japan.
just an isolated incident. So then, now what we've done is we've translated the next question. Some people ask, what about the one in Suzhou?
Yeah, because they still haven't gotten any.
Yeah, they haven't gotten
closure
any.
on
No
the
one's
last
gotten an
stabbing.
explanation. Let's take a look.
My question will be, do you have any information about what was the motivation in Suzhou incident in March? Because it isn't public yet. What is the motivation? What was the motivation about that attack in March? Thank you.
据了解，有关案件
It's understood. This case is still under
目
investigation.
前还在进一步调查中。
And that's it.
还有其他问题吗？
I mean, since March, you can't figure out why the crazed ultra-nationalists stabbed and wanted to murder
Because
Japanese
China
children.
tried to bury the story,
Yeah.
repair its image, and wants people to forget about it. And you can see it in the body language and the cadence of the foreign ministry when
Yeah.
they speak about this.
They don't care.
No.
They don't give a shit. And again, excuse my language, it's all about pretending it's an isolated incident every time. Oh, this is just an isolated incident. What about the one that happened a couple of months ago? No,
It's an isolated incident. What about those
incident.
4 American professors that got stabbed?
Oh, isolated
That's
incident.
an isolated incident.
It's not an isolated incident. We're going to explain to you why. It is actually the repercussions, the consequences of the actions of the Chinese government. That's what caused this.
你最讨厌哪个国家？
Okay, so let's show everyone a little clip.
These are clips that are all over the Chinese internet.
Yes, and again, okay, I have to preface this. Sorry for keep interrupting. I know it's annoying to some people, but listen here, guys. China has the most controlled internet in the world.
Yes.
You may not say Xi Jinping looks like a baboon.
Right.
You can't type that. If you try to type that, it gets, well, you can't, it won't even post, first of all. But second of all, if you
That's
manage...
even like harsh. You can't
Yeah.
even say that I disagree with the Chinese government.
You can't say that. If you post that, if you manage to somehow maybe use wording that the
Yeah,
automatic
yeah.
censorship thing doesn't pick up, they will find you, you will be punished, and they will remove that post.
Mm-hmm.
So when something is allowed to be posted on the Chinese internet, it's because the government wants it to be posted. It's that simple. Nobody can try to convince you otherwise. Because if you post anything that the government doesn't want on the internet, it gets removed and you get arrested. So when something's there, it's because the Chinese government endorses it, encourages it, wants it. And that's the context you have to have in your mind when you watch these clips that are all over the Chinese internet.
日本骨头里就是讨厌他。
我就比较讨厌日本。
This has been going around very recently. Now, this is the same school uniform as Shenzhen, so it could be in Shenzhen. I recognize the school uniform. And these are school kids, and presumably this is outside their school, and there's a Japanese flag on the ground that they can stamp on. And if it's not outside their school, it'll be outside a business or something.
Probably a Hunan restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, come on, guys. Like when you're teaching school kids to stamp on a modern Japanese flag. Because look, here's the thing, guys. I understand if you wanted to put the Imperial War flag or something
the
from
country
World War
that's
II,
messed China up bad and treated them
maybe
terribly.
I could understand that. It's kind of like, you know,
A Nazi flag or something,
dude,
right?
my ancestors, okay, fought in World War II.
Mine too.
Yes, and yours too, against the Germans mainly.
Yep, and the Japanese.
Yeah, the Japanese somewhere along the line too, I'm sure. I'm not stamping on a modern German flag.
No. My grandpa fought the Japanese.
Yeah.
We love Japan.
Absolutely. I'm not stamping on a modern Japanese flag.
Yes.
If somebody put out like a swastika or something, yeah, sure, stamp on it. Because that's representative of that time and of the bad people.
Yeah.
Modern Japan is not the Imperial Army running around, you know, chopping off
doing bad
heads.
things,
Okay? That is a modern Japanese flag. Why are they teaching children to jump and stamp on it?
Because it's part of the education
Part of the
system.
education system. Let's continue to show you a couple more clips. I mean, young little children. Now, this is one thing that's positive, but you're going to see at the end of the day, it's risky what this guy did. Shenzhen is known as a Wenming Chengshi, or a civilized city in China. It's one that keeps winning awards for a civilized city. Spoiler alert, lots of cities win that award.
Thousands of them.
But it doesn't matter. Being a local
It's like a
Shenzhen,
participation
you know,
award.
being a representative of Shenzhen myself for so many years, the local people take pride in the fact that Shenzhen is a civilized city. You know, compared to other cities in China, people will stand up and let people sit in a seat on a bus or whatever. You know, no, everybody takes pride in that. You know, it's kind of a thing. It's like a little cliquey thing. So this guy and many Shenzhen people are appalled at the fact that this young boy was murdered. Yeah. And let's stay away from stabbed or was murdered. Yeah. Okay. And so went to lay flowers and said that this is the result of perpetual hatred education. Yeah. Which it is. And he says, you know, 和平万岁, which means harmony, you know, forever.
Peace, yeah.
Peace and harmony forever.
Yeah. And this is risky because China does not want focus on this issue. And number two, this is admitting that something went wrong.
Yeah, now there's a couple of very interesting things you'll notice. Did you notice that some of the people laying flowers have completely covered their faces?
Yes.
With sunglasses and masks? And that's very important because they are worried about repercussions. You'll see soon.
For laying flowers.
Yes. There's another very interesting thing. Can you see this like screen over here? See, there's a screen laid up against the wall. That is purposefully blocking the part that says Japanese school. They don't want that to be seen. You can't even show the words Japan on all the media.
Well, they don't want to ruin relations, right?
So he says
he said let's go against hateful education.
And he says he's a local Shenzhener, and
作为中国老百姓是反对这种做法的，反对仇恨教育。我们的很多人就是长期在这种仇恨教育之下，导致这种恶果。
Yeah. So can you see again this stupid like hospital divider?
Yeah, that's
you know
what it
they
looks
took
like.
it out of the nurse's office.
Yeah,
or
that's what it
something.
looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see the characters at the top there for Shenzhen, and underneath we have a picture of what it normally looks like. Says Shenzhen ribbon. You know.
I can't believe the response. Well, let's get through this.
Yeah. So you see, we didn't want this to be one-sided. We wanted to show you that there are people that actually are normal.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a lot of people that are normal.
But I'm going to tell you what is the unfortunate truth of China is that you are not allowed to like Japan. You're not allowed to like Japanese people. If you, in your circle of friends or in public, go and say, I love Japan, I love Japanese people, you'll get mobbed.
In fact, I found a video series on Douyin when I was doing my video uncovering the hate campaigns that China's pushing and then trying to hide from people that don't speak Chinese about these skits that would put on. And it was the most gaslighting bullshit you've ever seen. But one guy will be drinking with his friends and he goes, you know what, guys? I like Japan. And then one guy will say, you like what? And then it'll go through some like diatribe about like how bad Japan is. And then at the end he goes, okay, in the end, I don't like Japan. See?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and those are sponsored. Those are put out there.
Yeah, so you got to understand the amount of courage that these people have to go and put flowers down there is insane because they're actually making themselves targets. And by doing this, they could ostracize them from their work colleagues, from their friends. They could get fired. You never know what's going to happen to them because they are going to show sympathy towards a 10-year-old boy who was murdered. Okay, and you're going to see. I'm not making that up. You'll see. So, okay, they're putting them there. Again, the fact they have to block the name of the school is ridiculous.
我是深圳的普通市民。作为中国老百姓是反对这种做法的。
Giving him a lot of screen
反对
time.
仇恨教育。
Oh, isn't it?
我们的很多人就是长期在这种仇恨教育
That's
之
good.
下，
He's a good
导
guy.
致这种
I
恶
like
果。
this guy. Did you put in the pictures of the flowers? Okay. See, like, you got some very nice messages from these people. What's that?
Barbed wire the fence around there.
我不喜欢日本人。
Again, we wanted to show you this is a Children's Day the play, okay? You want to have a play for Children's Day at the kindergarten? What do? They murder Japanese on stage. That's what you teach kids. I love how it says Happy Children's Day in the background, but it's all about murdering, Japanese people.
So bad.
Yeah. So again, when people try to say, oh, it's just a few, like if the foreign ministry or anyone wants to say this is an isolated incident, it's not.
No.
This is endemic. This is every part of Chinese society is taught to hate Japanese people.
It's out of control.
Children, little baby children, adults, everybody are taught to
Old
hate
people.
Japan. Yeah,
Those
old
war
people.
dramas,
Yeah. Every day on the TV, in the newspaper.
美国、日本、韩国，你们最讨厌哪个？肯定日本啊。
Like they set up
YouTube. That's a dummy.
Yeah, it's a
They're punching
dummy.
a dummy.
They set up dummies in Japanese, army uniform to be punched on the street. You could pay money to do that. Come on, that song. I personally witnessed with my own eyes 2 very big anti-Japanese riots when I was living in Shenzhen. And this is one of them, actually.
Yeah, I saw one.
Yeah, I remember this 2012 one. It was insane. People were going around smashing the windows of sushi restaurants and stuff, overturning and
Cars.
destroying Toyotas and
saw
things.
that, yeah. Saw that out the window. And this is the only time you'll see a protest allowed in China, is if it's against Japan or America.
Remember, we showed you earlier what
I've
happens.
never seen an American one, but Japan, yeah.
Remember, we showed you earlier what happens when Chinese people want to protest for their losing their entire life savings. They have to kowtow, But if it's allowed, if it's against Japan, the government endorses it, allows it, and encourages this kind of
It's for
behavior.
2 reasons. You can just play it, but it's for 2 reasons. It gives this idea for foreigners and Chinese alike that you can protest and you have a say.
Yeah.
And then number 2, it's a steam valve that gets to get released. When societal pressure builds up, they're like, okay, go hate Japan in the street for a little
Yeah,
while.
exactly. They allow them to vent their frustrations because everybody has got frustrations in China.
But they can't do anything about it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, anyway, like I was saying earlier, the people putting down the flowers are putting themselves at risk. Okay, the people that are trying to do the right thing and show some solidarity and support, they put themselves at danger. I mean, again, this is the education. You can go. You've seen that yourself, right? You saw them also where they could stab Japanese people. American people on that Minsk.
Yes, on the Minsk, aircraft carrier.
Dude, I don't care who you are, what country you are, what problems you have with other countries. Why are you teaching 4-year-old children to stab people with bayonets?
That's a good point.
It doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter who did what, okay? You don't do that.
No.
Wait until they're older, at least, before you teach them this hate.
Maybe just don't teach that.
Yeah, don't teach it at all, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going to teach it, leave the little kids alone.
Yeah.
So
So there was a bunch of comments that came out, and the biggest comment that came out is, why do we even have Japanese schools in China? Get rid of the Japanese schools.
Yeah.
And that actually carried across to the shills and like some of the people that work like to amplify Chinese propaganda. It was like, why we shouldn't even have Japanese schools. Not like we're sad that this happened.
No, they're like, why are the Japanese schools? Shut them down.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. Well, newsflash to anyone who has that idea. There are lots of Chinese schools around the world.
Yeah.
Nobody's calling to shut them down.
And that's fine.
Nobody in Japan, there are tons of Chinese schools for Chinese people. Why would they have to shut them down?
Yeah.
You know? If you want to go and live in another country, I mean, come on. Here in America, there's so many Chinese people living here, and there's so many facilities that are available to them in Chinese. I mean, when my wife went to do her driver's license, they offered to give her a translator. And the books to learn the driver's license stuff, they had a Chinese one for her to learn. I mean, it's just about, there's Chinese schools, there's Chinatowns, there's everything. So this idea of like, oh, well, you know, if you want to, you know, be Japanese, go back to your own country, because some of them were saying that too. And unfortunately, there were people celebrating this murder as well, lots. And the fact that, again, that this is allowed to be posted online shows you that the government endorses it. You know? It's really, really sad and despicable.
It is.
Anyway.
Yeah, we don't need to dwell.
Yeah, with some of these, if you want to pause this and if you want to go and Google Translate these pictures, you'll see the vileness and the nonsense that's going on, you know, from these posts up here. We didn't want to sit and dwell on it because it's actually disgusting. But I just wanted to show you stuff like this. 孩子对不起 Shenzhen人. The first one there. So it says, little boy, I'm sorry, from a Shenzhen person. It's interesting that it doesn't say 中国人, but Shenzhen人.
It doesn't say Chinese person, it says someone from Shenzhen.
A Shenzhener. It's like saying a New Yorker instead of American.
Yeah.
No, I'm wondering why.
Because that's how they associate.
Yeah.
That's how they see it themselves.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just nice to see the sentiment.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
It's absolutely appalling that this happened in the first place. But it's good to see the sentiment. But now here's the problem. People that were going to lay down flowers noticed that there was a man taking photos of them constantly, like the whole day or something. Because take a look here. They actually surrounded him. There's a guy in a mask. See him over there? And look, somebody tried to take his mask off, which he obviously wasn't very happy about. Yeah. Then they surrounded him and forced him to delete the photos off his phone.
Yeah. Secret police, obviously.
Yeah, it must be secret police, or it could be somebody who's just like one of those ultra-nationalists who wants to take pictures of people to dox them later, to get them into trouble later, to say that they're Japanese sympathizers or whatever. But I want everybody to pay attention to the amount of photos he has on his phone. So I'm going to play this clip. They're like, don't move, don't move. Keep deleting, because he tried to escape. If you take a look, he's just wiped out an entire page of photos. Now, he has another whole page of photos that he's, you know, of the people there that went to lay flowers. It's like everybody from different angles, all their faces, all that kind of stuff. There's a whole nother page that he has to delete there. A whole nother page. There's actually just hundreds of pictures that he's taken of the people that went to lay flowers. It shows you how dangerous it is to show any kind of sympathy or solidarity with Japanese people in China. That's how bad it is. All right, and look at this. The security guards were taking the flowers away.
Yeah, just let it roll. It goes on.
Yeah. Oh, do you got the audio out of there?
Yeah, it's music.
No, it wasn't. This was you heard the lady spoke to him. It's like, why are you taking these away?
Weird.
Yeah, this particular one, okay, audio's been stripped, but the lady actually confronted him and said, like, people have just put those there. Why are you taking them away? And because he was caught, because he was probably supposed to be just constantly doing this when nobody was looking, because he was caught, he put them back down again. But, of course, this is the MO, right? See, he put them back after being confronted. Hey, listen, people just put them there. Why are you getting rid of them?
Yep.
The MO is nothing to see here.
Correct.
First of all, blank out the name of the school by putting a stupid nurse's office thing over there. And when people put flowers, get rid of them as soon as you can.
Yeah.
So that if anyone who walks past won't notice anything.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Anyone takes a picture, there'll be nothing to take a picture of, right?
Yep.
That's how China operates. It's despicable. Can't even lay flowers, because a child was murdered. Anyway, that's a picture of the actual thing that they're hiding there, just because we're anti-censorship over here on the China Show.
是深圳日本人学校. Shenzhen Japanese People School.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Anyway, so that's the end of that depressing topic.
Yeah, let's not be depressed anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to be depressed, but I just have to.
We're going to lose you guys.
No, I just, sometimes I have to drive it home because I had Japanese friends in China and there were a couple of times where it got really hairy and we had to pretend they were Thai or something because people were drunkenly heard us talking.
There was actually a statement that was warning Japanese people in China not to speak Japanese too loudly.
Yes.
So that they don't get identified as Japanese.
And that's what happened to us. And like a group of people came over and were accusing them of being Japanese. We're like, no, they're Thai, and they left us alone. But, it's that kind of situation which it shouldn't happen. In this day and age, this kind of racist hatred, this xenophobic hatred shouldn't exist. Not on the level of a government, because you're always going to get like weirdos living in the woods or something, or some weird rednecks or some bad racists all over the place. But when the government itself embeds it into education, embeds it into the state media, which is completely government controlled, when the government itself perpetuates this hatred towards this racist and xenophobic hatred towards people, that shouldn't be a thing. No. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, sorry, let's move on. So I guess it's time, what?
I said, please, let's say.
Yeah, it's time to move on to Worldview. This is where we talk about everything in the world, specifically with regards to China. Before we do, though, this is what you missed on Monday, all right?
Don't give an absolute shit about Marvel and DC.
I hate people that can't walk straight.
I hate the judges on America's Got Talent.
Street performers piss me off. I'm not the CCP. I just don't like traditional music.
I have an irrational hatred for airbrush art.
I hate white dudes playing PVC pipe didgeridoos. And there's like a dude who thinks he's cool with this freaking PVC pipe. It sounds kind of crappy. You look like a tool. You're carrying around plumbing equipment, okay? Okay.
Before we get on to the next, this is very serious topic. We have a show every single Monday.
Yes.
It's called the Xiaoban Ho After Hours, and it's a completely separate show where we have a different topic. You guys vote on the topics. It's very democratic. Yeah. And you guys voted on a topic where you told us to go drink beer and then talk about things that we hate.
Yeah, it was actually really fun.
It was probably one of the funniest episodes we've ever done.
Yes.
And it had nothing to do with China. It was just us hating and drinking beer. And it was very fun because we read out your irrational hates too.
Yes.
Eventually we'll do beer love hour.
Yeah,
where we talk about things we love.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. But if you want to go support us and check out every episode we've ever done, go to patreon.com/ADVpodcast. You'll get access to all 115 plus episodes we've done and then every episode going forward. And it's the best way to support us, and you get extra content every Monday.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And also, don't forget that address, because later for the after party, you're going to have to head over to patreon.com/ADVpodcast. Don't worry, free. Completely free.
For the first one, yeah.
We're going to put first couple.
Maybe.
Testing the waters with this, see how it goes, if you'll enjoy it or not. And there'll be a link that you can click for another live stream.
Either on the, it's going to be on the community page. You can find it on the community page on our YouTube channel here. So just go click the community tab next to videos.
Yeah.
Or you can go to patreon.com/ADVpodcast and we'll have that on the main page.
Yeah, we'll remind you just before we sign off.
So there'll be about 5 or 10 minutes in between this episode and after party. But definitely you're gonna want to be there for sure.
Yeah, we got some pretty hilarious clips and stuff to go through. Anyway, let's get on to world news. What do we got here?
So this was huge, absolutely massive. So the Justice Department disrupted a vast Chinese hacking operation that affected consumer devices. So this is what happened: a botnet, a network of bots, basically from a Chinese company. Infected stuff around the world, over 1 million devices around the world, but activated like a couple 100,000, and then a couple 100,000 devices in America.
Yeah,
and it was everything from routers to
IP cameras
to all that kind of stuff, right?
Sure.
And what they did, they were using them and activating and hacking Americans' devices and people around the world to perform horrible things. And the crazy thing about this is this company that was doing it is a publicly traded company on the Shanghai Stock Exchange.
Yes.
Doing criminal activities, probably on behalf of state actors and really
the Chinese
bad
government for
people
sure
in China, right? Absolutely insane. So I just wanted to look at this. I have the press statement. I highly recommend you guys go down to the description and click the Justice Department press release and also the affidavits there. It sounds like something out of a sci-fi novel.
Well, I mean, it's a big win for America's cybersecurity, for one, because they shut the botnet down.
Yes, and this is the second time now that they've actually stopped a Chinese botnet. Probably one of the biggest ones that they've ever seen, right? Says the Justice Department is zeroing in on Chinese government-backed hacking groups that target the devices of innocent Americans and pose a serious threat to our national security, said Attorney General Merrick B. Garland. As we did earlier this year, the Justice Department has again destroyed a botnet used by PRC-backed hackers to infiltrate consumer devices here in the United States and around the world. We'll continue to aggressively counter the threat that China's state-sponsored hacking groups pose to the American people. Our takedown of the state-sponsored botnet reflects the department's all-tools approach to disrupting cyber criminals. The network, managed by a PRC government contractor, hijacked hundreds of thousands of private routers, cameras, and other consumer devices to create a malicious system for the PRC, People's Republic of China, to exploit, said Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco. Today should serve as a warning to cyber criminals preying on Americans. If you continue to come for us, we will come for you.
Yes, it's good. Now, I just wanted to give a little PSA for everyone out there. You can, most of the time, avoid any kind of hacking on your devices if you keep them up to date. I know it sounds silly, but if you've got a router/router, if it's an old, ancient one, you should replace it, first of all.
Sure.
If you've got an old TP-Link from circa 2010 or something, it's time to, get rid of that. Buy yourself something new.
Sure.
I mean, it's going to improve your network performance anyway. But keep the firmware up to date on those things. Make sure they're updating. Make sure you're getting the latest firmware on all your devices. And if you've got weird, cheap, rubbish stuff that you bought a couple of years ago, like say you bought like one of those IP cameras that you can connect to over the internet, but it's like a random Chinese brand and it's old, stop using it. Get yourself something new. Upgrade to a Ring camera or to something more trusted.
Yeah.
Now,
this botnet was being used to hack big target.
Yeah,
people,
obviously.
Right?
But they're using
universities, but they're using your stuff.
Yes.
Which is absolutely intrusive and illegal. Right?
Yeah.
It's a criminal thing. I like this quote. For the second time this year, we have disrupted a botnet used by PRC proxies to conceal their efforts to hack into networks in the U.S. and around the world to steal information and hold our infrastructure at risk. Our message to these hackers is clear. If you build it, we will bust it. And remember, this stuff was, in the past at least, in the first attempt, was targeting U.S. American infrastructure.
Yes.
Things like water and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I did
Power
a whole video.
grids, that kind of thing.
It's nasty stuff. This is actually a huge deal. The disruption of this worldwide botnet is part of the FBI's commitment to using technical operations to help protect victims, expose publicly the scope of these criminal hacking campaigns, and to use the adversaries' tools against them to remove malicious infrastructure from the virtual battlefield, said FBI Deputy Director Paul Abate. It says the targeted hacking of hundreds of thousands of innocent victims in the United States and around the world shows the breadth and aggressiveness of the People's Republic of China state-sponsored hackers.
Yeah.
I think this is a really mask-off moment for China. They keep saying their foreign ministry, and they'll go out there.
They're like, oh, it's unrelated. It's just like a hacking group or something.
Yes, but it's by design.
Oh,
right?
of course.
We need to hire the Chinese government says we need to hire these companies that are publicly traded to do all the bad things that we don't want our name attached to.
Yes.
Now their name's attached.
Yeah.
The court-authorized operation disrupted a sophisticated botnet designed to steal sensitive information and launch disruptive cyber attacks. We'll continue to work with our partners inside and outside the government using every tool at our disposal to defend and maintain global cybersecurity. You were saying something about, you were reading an article where these pictures came from. What were you talking about earlier?
Just basically, they had a list of some of the devices and the brands that were affected because it was only luckily not a huge swath of devices were open. Obviously, the use of this botnet is very malicious and all that. But, like I said, if you've got old Internet of Things devices, which just means anything like a little smart speaker or a light or anything that just kind of uses the internet to work, just make sure you keep them up to date. It's super important because you can actually help thwart. You could do your part.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Now, I mean, China's hackers are good enough to be able to hack even very modern technology, but
Yes.
what you're saying is that you can mitigate this threat.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you can, just by being smart about what you have in your house
Sure.
connected to the internet. But the most important thing, of course, the baseline is your router or your router, whatever you want to call it. Just make sure that yours is up to date. And just make that best practice, just have that practice of keeping things up
Sure.
to date. When your phone has a security update, update
Yes.
it. When your computer has a security update, update it. Don't put it off. That
Gotcha.
kind of thing.
I just want to finish off a couple of these
Sure.
quotes. All the articles are below. It's very interesting. The FBI's investigation revealed that a publicly traded China-based company is openly selling its customers the ability to hack into and control thousands of consumer devices worldwide. So it's something you can purchase.
Yeah,
a
of
service.
course.
This operation sends a clear message to the People's Republic of China that the United States will not tolerate this shameless criminal conduct, said Special Agent in Charge Stacy Moy of the FBI San Diego Field Office. Can you show the part of the affidavit?
Oh, you put it up here?
Yeah, just a couple of little pieces.
Sure.
It says, the FBI has identified and reviewed data from multiple upstream management servers. Upon review of this data, one of those servers the FBI found is hosted by a MySQL database, which stored information used to manage the botnet. So this was being stored and managed by MySQL, right?
Yeah, by MySQL server, yeah.
The MySQL database contained a table with information about each of the infected victims' devices. So it would have like this router from this person, right?
Sure, sure.
As well as the C2 server communicating with each infected device. The database contained records of over 1.2 million devices worldwide. So this was a massive company that was doing this. That had one time been infected with the variant, including over 385,000 unique US-based victim devices. However, as of the June 5th, 2024 review, the data indicated that only approximately 260,000 devices, including approximately 126,000 US-based devices, were actively infected. So being used, right?
Yeah, there's another thing you can do, which is a bit of a pain, but if you wanted to maybe get a way to do it, maybe one of those like timer plugs or something. If you restart your router/router once a day, I mean, this is if you want to be extra careful, it can definitely help because sometimes these exploits run in memory only. And then if you restart, it flushes the memory, and then the exploit doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So if it gets infected, you can clear it out just by restarting it.
Yes, but there's just one more thing here.
Okay, there's one more thing. All right.
I just wanted to show that it was proven to have come from China.
Okay.
You can read through this whole thing. Again, it's very interesting. Go down below. All the links everything we cover is always down below.
Yeah.
The FBI observed that the C2 servers and the upstream management servers described in paragraph 13 were accessed on multiple occasions from a certain IP address registered to China Unicom Beijing Province Network, including by using TCP port 34125, showing that the user of this Chinese IP address was interacting and controlling this botnet. Now, this actually this operation is called from China was called Flax Typhoon, like flax seeds.
Yeah.
And the company that was actually doing it, I believe it had an absolutely hilarious name that I wrote down.
Oh yeah.
It's like an ironic name.
Okay.
It was called like.
Sorry, the T.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
According to the court documents, the botnet was developed and controlled by guess. Just take a wild guess.
I can't.
What's the opposite of what this?
Secure.
Okay. Integrity Technology Group.
Oh, Integrity Technology, yes.
Integrity Technology Group, a publicly traded company headquartered in Beijing.
Yeah,
nothing says integrity like criminal botnets that control.
I love how it's publicly
innocent
traded so that like the taxpayers can pay for their own country to be hacked.
Well, they can invest in it.
Yeah, you can invest. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's publicly traded in the Shanghai stock.
Oh, in Shanghai. Yeah. Okay, okay. Because usually they try to publicly trade in the West too.
Well, I don't know about that, but I do know it was traded in Shanghai on the stock exchange.
What's going on with this old dude?
So China just raised the retirement age, which people are obviously really pissed off about.
Sure.
China doesn't really have any social safety nets for anything.
No.
It's not a socialist country.
Makes sense with their aging population. They'd have to raise it.
Yes.
What is it now?
I believe it went up from like 60 or 61 to 63 or something. It was like a couple years for each gender. Okay. So people are furious because people don't want to retire.
Well, imagine you're like, just another month until my retirement. And then Beijing says no. You're like, no.
I just wanted to read a couple of these.
Okay, sure.
A couple of these comments from internet users. It says, there are two types of people who need not worry about the delayed retirement. Those who do not live to retirement age and the unemployed.
Yeah, true.
Because the unemployment rate in China is massive. Another one.
Yeah.
The user on the video sharing platform Bilibili expressed concern over the long-term implications of the reforms for younger people. The post-90s generation is practically certain to retire at 65 years old because it's just going to keep going up.
Yeah,
right?
well, absolutely.
The demographic collapse in China is meaning that people are, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. Uncle Shark's not happy about that.
Uncle Shark was just about to retire.
Yeah, I know. That's why he's so pissed off.
He's furious.
Yeah, he is. Oh well. What do we got here?
Take a while. Stop.
Yeah.
I want the audience to take a wild guess at what they're building there.
Well, it's obviously a stadium.
Yes. It's a stadium, but for what? Something that I think if you didn't see the news, you would never guess.
It's for a concert.
It's for a concert. Do you know what they're calling this concert?
What?
You know what they're calling this concert?
No. What are they calling it?
What do you think would be a good name for a concert?
Music concert.
Something musical, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be called the Vultures Listening Experience.
Vultures Listening
Yes. Reminds me of AVP.
It does, actually.
America Black Party, America Black.
Vultures Listening Experience.
Oh, yeah, I see that up there.
Yeah. Do you know who's going to headline this concert?
Kanye West?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be Kanye East. He's going east. Now, why is this so crazy? Well, Kanye West does not have the most safe for work lyrics, right?
Yeah, I think he's gone a bit off the deep end.
Yes, he's gone off the deep end. But most importantly, that kind of music with those lyrics are not allowed in China.
Yes.
They've in fact banned Maroon 5 and Bon Jovi. They've denied them from playing who don't have offensive lyrics, right?
Yeah.
But now they're so desperate for tourism dollars that they're like, let's open up Vulture's Listening Experience, build a stadium in Hainan in the south, and then let Kanye West headline.
I saw him perform in China. I saw clips of it, yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. It's weird, yeah. It's one of the last people I think they would allow to perform.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Kanye East, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that was a curio.
That is an interesting career.
This is just a quick thing. U.S. Navy is preparing for possible war by 2027 with China in focus. So there's this whole pushback by China that keeps saying, we're not getting ready to invade Taiwan. We're not doing this. We're not getting military ready by 2027 or 2035. They keep like pushing this away. But all we see is nuclear arsenal going up.
Yeah.
The Navy being...
Missiles pointing at Taiwan.
Missiles pointing at Taiwan.
Yeah.
The Navy being absolutely exploding in size.
Sure.
Right? The Army exploding in size. You're doing everything like what makes it look like you're leading up to a war.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure, if you're on the other side of things, that you're ready. Right?
Yeah,
That's just a little tidbit. Go ahead and you can keep going.
Okay.
There was one thing that happened in the Philippines.
Yeah.
China's very mad. So the Philippines is going to retain the U.S. missile launchers that it has, and China's having a conniption because the Philippines is actually standing up to China as a U.S. ally in the region, maintaining stability, making sure that China does not take over the entire region and exert control, as it's trying to do. It has been harassing the Philippines out of control. In fact, 60 Minutes went out on one of the Filipino boats.
Yeah, you got nice.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but I like how they said that the Philippines rammed the Chinese ship.
But
the footage even shows.
Take it away. It's detected.
Oh, it is? Okay.
That is absolutely insane gaslighting. It's like I punch you and you go, how dare you punch me?
Yeah,
dude?
exactly.
You hit my fist.
Yeah, you hurt my fist with your arm.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're doing.
On video.
I know.
But they don't show that on their video.
No.
And I love that a private company reporter goes to do some sort of journalism, and that's propaganda.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they make a propaganda video about that propaganda.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It is insane. Anyway, that's just the way the cookie crumbles in the South China Sea, as they say. So, guys, it's time for us to do the after party thing.
Yes.
So let's explain to everyone how this works. It's very simple. We're going to start a new live stream in a couple of minutes.
Yep.
It's exactly the same, still on YouTube, the same as this one, except you need to click the link to basically open it up.
Yes.
All right? We're going to put the link publicly on Patreon. You don't need to have a Patreon account, nothing like that. You just need to go to the website and you'll see it there and you'll be able to click it in a couple of minutes.
Yes.
We're also going to put it on the members' the community
post.
The community post here on YouTube, so you don't even need to go to Patreon. You can find it right there. Also publicly for you to click. So
first one's free.
Yeah, first couple.
Wait, we'll see.
Yeah.
See
Testing
if
the
we're
waters.
feeling charitable.
Yeah.
If you send a super chat, I'm going to bring them over there. So
Yeah.
you good.
All right, guys. So we're going to say farewell for now. And we'll catch you at the after party in about 5 minutes. So we'll see you there. Go grab yourself a drink, cold beverage, hot beverage, anything you like, some popcorn, doesn't matter. It's going to be fun. We got some funny clips to share with you.
Patreon.com/ADVPodcasts.
Yeah, with an S.
And
the community tab.
The community tab on YouTube.
So we'll see you later. I'm not going to cut myself off. Let's try it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you at the after party. Trying to leave some buffer in here.